From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
I'm Jane McDonald on the campus of Montana State University, and the football team is getting ready to go to Missoula, but the Spirit of the West is going to be staying right here in Bozeman. We're going to hear some of the band's reaction to that coming up. MTN Sports' Grace Lawrence here outside Bobcat Stadium. It's Cat-Griz weekend. Coming up, I've got your preview on number 4 ranked Montana State as they head to Missoula and look to achieve their second consecutive Big Sky Championship. The Bozeman Library Board decided to not let developers build on their land. I'm Kristen Merkel, and I'll tell you how the board meeting went last night.
This is one of the most exciting mornings we've had in a while.
It's the best. I mean, what more could you ask for?
That's right.
Eve of Cat-Griz with the Spirit of the West right here live on the weather patio. And in fact, our top story this half hour all has to do with the Spirit of the West. Now, MSU Spirit of the West Marching Band will not be going over to Cat-Griz tomorrow over in Missoula. So I spent some time and talked with some members of the marching band to hear their reaction to some of that sad news.
You really are just like a grain of sand on the beach, you know? You are a part of this larger thing that you are contributing to the energy. Where else am I going to be able to feel the energy and experience this in my life, you know? It's a real disappointment at first to learn that we are not going over for Cat-Griz. So I'm a member of the Kappa Kappa Psi honorary band fraternity on campus, and we have records that date back to the 80s of this tradition of the bands going over for the different Cat-Griz games.
It's the last game of the year for a lot of people, and you know, for seniors, it's kind of, this would be the first year that they won't be able to go, is obviously adds to that disappointment. So.
A disappointment and a lot of questions. Why is a long-standing tradition going away? Well, the answer lies in a memorandum of understanding signed by both universities last spring. I spoke with both Montana State University and University of Montana leaders who told me that the universities jointly agreed on several terms related to purchased and complimentary tickets for the annual rivalry game. One of which is that the visiting team will not bring the marching band to the Brawl of the Wild. By doing so, I'm told that the universities will be able to sell an additional 200 to 300 season ticket packages. University of Montana Communications' Dave Kuntz says that for Montana, ticket sales are the primary source of revenue for Grizzly Athletics. Kuntz says that their athletic department receives the lowest amount of institutional support of any school in the Big Sky Conference, and this agreement ensures that Grizzly Athletics is prioritizing the needs of hundreds of student athletes. And talking with MSU athletic leadership, they say, like University of Montana, they are looking at this as a way to support student athletes and to provide opportunities for tickets to fans. And though the Spirit of the West is disappointed, they are noticing a new tradition emerge from the Cats.
We have also new traditions that we're forming as a college and as a band, especially with a tradition of us going to the playoffs more often and being able to travel for that. So we're looking forward to that as well.
We're honestly hoping that we can see them in the playoffs, so that way we can maybe travel to each other's stadium or wherever it may be and actually perform before each other then. So we're kind of crossing our fingers in the hopes of that will play out.
And some of the band members told me that though they won't be in uniform, some of them will be traveling over to Missoula, leaving their instruments at home, but heading to watch the game from the stands. In Bozeman, Jane McDonald, MTN News.
Well, they may not be over in Missoula, but they are right here on the weather patio.
Yes.
Spirit of the West bringing the vim like they always do wherever they go.
That's right.
It is absolutely fantastic. Now, we're going to keep talking about some of that Cat-Griz action. It's the biggest football game of the season, people. That's going to be happening tomorrow over at Washington Grizzly Stadium. Stakes historically high over there. So MTN's Grace Lawrence is going to break down all that you need to know on the eve, the big game.
MTN Sports' Grace Lawrence here outside Bobcat Stadium, and this year's Brawl of the Wild is the highest ranked in history with the number 4. They're both 6-1 in conference, and the winner of the game on Saturday will walk away with a Big Sky Championship and a possible 2 seed for the playoffs. But according to senior captain and linebacker Nolan Askelson, the team doesn't need any extra motivation for this one.
The people in Montana remember every single freaking play in these Cat-Griz games, man. So to go out there and make plays in this game, and that's really how you leave a legacy.
The games in November are the ones you remember, and the Brawl of the Wild is on the top of the list for Montana State. its meaning and importance is something just known and felt throughout the locker room.
We have 40-plus guys in our locker room that are from Montana, and my teammates mean a lot to me. So if that means a lot to them, it means a lot to me, and I want to go out there and give my best and lay it out on the line for my teammates, because this game is, everything to them growing up.
No matter where you come from in our state, you're on one side or the other, or you're a person that maybe just moved here. I guess that's maybe the third element. The extension of who we are playing for is evident.
It's not only who they're playing for, but what they're playing for as well. A conference title, one they will be taking away from the Grizz simultaneously with the win.
I know on our pyramid we have won the sky and own the state, right? We can do two of those things, check off two of those things this weekend. So I know that we're going to prepare to do that and accomplish those two things on our pyramid.
This game being the last game of the year, you want to be playing for conference title. You certainly want to be playing for, how the playoffs are going to shake out. So yeah, for 3 years into it, all 3 years, to have it come down to this Saturday in all those aspects, that's what we're working for.
How they've achieved the right to control their own destiny another season, their work ethic, something that translates to the field every Saturday.
Talk about blue-collar gold standard, that blue-collar nature of Montana, to do the dirty work, do the hard work, do whatever you got to do to get your job done, and that gold standard of everything we do, doing it to the best of your ability.
The team has been road dogs all season and can use those experiences as they go into one of the loudest away games yet this Saturday at Washington Grizzly Stadium. The game kicks off at 12 p.m. on MTN in Bozeman. Grace Lawrence, MTN Sports.
Just on today's and you can watch Cat-Griz right here on KBZ KXLF. Our coverage, Matt, gonna start tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock. So you don't even have to change the channel if you don't want to.
Yeah, most people don't.
Just keep it on. You'll see the Cat-Griz tomorrow. It'll be a fun one. But first, let's do a little bit of news. We've had some fun out here, but now it's time to get serious, people. But we're going to keep talking about some Treasure State headlines. We're going to be talking all about the library board. Now, the Bozeman Library Board has come to a final decision.
Wednesday, the Bozeman Library Board passed a motion to not allow developers to build a parking garage on their already existing parking lot. Large crowds showed up at the library for the board meeting to show support for the library and express their distaste for the development proposal.
If someone had come to me with a proposal like this, just thinking of the library as a business, I would have just burst out laughing and tossed them out.
Library Director Susan Gregory says she could feel the emotion of people supporting their local library.
And at the end of the day, it was really encouraging for all of us to see how much people love their public library.
A New York firm is planning to buy land to the west side of the library on Wallace Street off of Main. They plan to build a hotel, condos, and multifamily homes on the property. The firm presented at the meeting and asked the library to sign a memorandum of understanding to lease library parking lot spaces to them in order to build a parking garage for the new development. The library would be able to use the new garage. The board ultimately decided to not allow the parking garage on their property.
I think it was the right thing to do. I really do. When we start chipping away at this 14 acres, we're going to lose some very precious green space, and we can't get it back.
In Bozeman, Kristen Merkel, MTN News.
All right. Thank you very much, Kristen, for that report. Now, we are going to get to what we have all been waiting for. Spirit of the West is going to be live with us all morning long, and I'm going to take us away to a song to break. Of course, Matt's going to have your forecast. When we come back, we'll have your top stories, and we're going to speak with some members of the band. But without further ado, after you guys, Spirit of the West, let's take it away.